I meant to add this last night when we were doing the podcast, the mini podcast.
Yeah.
I like the Ghost immediately. I want to say that right now from their first album. I was on board immediately.
Right, okay.
As was I.
So
what was the point of that?
Yeah.
because Eric had made a point where he was like, and then he got around.
Got into it.
All I said was I wasn't that into them when I first heard them. It took the second album for me to really get into them.
Yes.
But then once I got into them, I really went back and enjoyed the first album.
Yeah, you're trying to make up. It just proves that me and Tim are more metal.
But I don't like Mercyful Fate, so I think I lose a point.
Yeah, you do. So
Yes.
I'm more metal than
You
both of
lose like 10.
Joe, you listen
you guys don't.
you listen to fucking Katy Perry. You're automatically disqualified from being more metal than me. Fuck that shit.
When a form of music that our children like becomes linked with ghoulish images and violent theatrics, it demands our attention. Hundreds of thousands of teenagers are locked onto so-called heavy metal music.
I grew up metalhead. I love 80s. Yeah, 80s metal, like Metallica. Yeah.
What do you call this? Well, this piece is called Lick My Love Pump.
It's going to be abrasive. It's going to be sickening. It's going to be hard to listen to. It's going to be aggressive. And it's going to fucking kick you in the fucking balls with a pussy.
Well, hey, welcome back, everybody. I think we have everybody here, actually. It's amazing.
It really is.
It really is. It's been quite some time. But I'm here, Eric. Joe's here. Tim's here. Keith's here. And we have a special guest today on this episode. This is Paul. Paul is a huge Iron Maiden fan and found out we were doing a show about peace of mind and said, well, shit, I need to be on this episode. So welcome, Paul.
Hey, TK 27679 reported.
He's in the 501st too. So yeah, we decided to go back to 83 because originally we were going to record this episode in 2018 and it was going to be the 35th anniversary of these albums, but we are slackers and
Have jobs.
yeah, that too. So, well, fuck it. It's still,
It wouldn't have been the 35th anniversary.
right.
It would have been the 34th.
Oh, you're going to get all technical on our asses.
I am. I like perfection.
Well, then good. Then I should.
Now that it's
Why are you on this
now that it's 2019, it is the 35th anniversary.
Well, shit. Then we got to rethink all of 89.
Fucking no, that was like a 30-year review. We just changed the words
Oh, I see.
to fit what we're doing.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we've got some episodes on 83 coming up. But tonight we're going to focus on some big ones. Iron Maiden, Peace of Mind. Metallica, a little band called Metallica. Kill 'Em All. And Mercyful Fate, Melissa.
Who?
So, yeah, who?
Sorry.
Who? And so it begins.
Doctor Who.
But I think we should start with Maiden, simply because our guest is a Maiden fan. So, so let's get started with Maiden. I don't have a lot of technical notes on the album, like release dates and all that good stuff. I did take some notes on that. But I think the biggest thing from this album was it was Nicko McBrain's first album with the band.
Yep.
Nicko McBrain on drums, and he had the rest of the lineup as the normal lineup from the previous, most of the previous, the previous
One album.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But
A guy named Bruce joined the band for the
yeah, that's true. That's true.
previous one.
So
Minor change.
Yeah.
They did.
Bruce
They
Slight
did. They kicked Clive, your taskmaster, Mr. Harris. So they were touring in the United States, and in little old Britain, which is essentially looks like World of Warcraft, and you come to America and it's open 24 hours a day, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And Clive Burr loved all of that. to an excess, to the point where he was vomiting on stage as he was drumming.
Oh wow.
And at the end of the tour, they said, "Goodbye, you party too hard."
Oh wow. It's kind of a Mustaine
Yeah.
situation almost.
Yeah, yeah, basically, yeah. Andrew WK, party hard.
Wow.
And it was 16th of May 1983 released.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, thank you. That's perfect.
Because it says so just here.
Because you Wikipedia'd and I didn't. There you
Yeah, basically, yes.
go. Well,
Slacker.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I've been out of it
only
too
had-
long.
How many months have you had to prepare for this?
Yeah. I know. I screwed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keith's happy about that.
Okay. So, wait, before we go any further, we should let people know that we have the power of the soundboard now. Eric,
I have the power of the soundboard.
Yeah.
So
They
make
didn't
it
grant
clear.
that out to anybody
it
else.
may be excessive.
Yeah, this first episode with it might be a little excessive. Sorry about
Shiny new toy.
Yeah, it's probably better if there's only one person with that power, because if we had
that. Everyone doing sounds all at once.
it would not be a thing.
It would just
it'd
be
be war.
continual fart sounds.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Belches.
Did you get a fart sound?
I
Yeah.
don't have a good fart sound yet.
Oh,
I know. What kind of
you failed.
what kind of guy am I?
It's okay. We're highbrow, so I'm glad you
Totally.
did.
So getting back to Maiden, interesting that it's the first album with Nico, and then the album opens up with a drum thing from Nico.
Yeah.
And there was a funny story in Dickinson's book about that, how Nico had a hard time getting that drum thing down, apparently, even though it doesn't sound that difficult. But he said it took him a few takes, and Nico at the end was like, "Well, that's the last time I'm playing that." And little did he know they were going to open with it every show of that tour.
But I would say for opening drum flourishes, drum intros, The Prisoner, Iron Maiden with
Yeah, I
Clive
love
Burr.
That's fantastic.
That when they opened up, well, at the show you was at with me. Where they were kind of doing the Seventh Son thing.
Yeah.
And they played The Prisoner, and that if you have a good listen to the opening drumming of The Prisoner, it's basically a thing of beauty.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Drumming.
Isn't it just a beat?
it is. It's just a simple beat, but it's very effective.
Yeah.
But in the autobiography, which I was showing you here, and it talks about Clive, and moving over to Nico. They said Nico is technically the better drummer, but Clive has the feel, the natural feel, he was born with it.
Huh.
So they kind of like, Bruce Dickinson, they loved the way he drummed because he had the feel for it. He just got himself shit-faced too often.
Yeah.
And can't be vomiting while you're drumming on tour.
No.
Maybe that's the answer to our question.
You become Gua, then, don't you?
What was that, Tim?
We had a question a while back as to why people think that Clive Burr's better than Nico.
Oh yeah, I have a friend who thinks that.
Lots
yeah.
of people say that.
Sounds like it's basically the Pert Bonham, comparison.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, well, Bonham by far.
What? Fucking idiot.
Bonham's by far better.
Neil Peart is the best drummer that's ever lived.
If you like show-offs who can't relax and just do a fucking beat, yeah.
That's because he's got. Oh, all right, guys. Rush did an album in '89. We can have that once we get talking.
Oh, do we have to?
'89
We're
album.
not-
I don't know.
we're not
Oh,
gonna
wait,
do
no, let's not get into the Neil Peart.
Rage, fucking rage.
Yeah, come on. Let's get back to the crux of this discussion.
Yeah.
Peace of mind.
Mhm.
And let's really talk about it because there's two halves to this masterpiece.
Well, in your
the first
opinion.
half is a masterpiece. The second half is fucking shit.
No, I disagree.
No, it didn't.
Quest for Fire.
Quest of Fire is the only bad song on the album.
Yeah, I'd
not
say
even
Quest
bad.
of Fire. That's the filler, really.
Tame a Land.
The Tame of Land's a great song.
Quest for Fire is 3 minutes 40 seconds. It's barely filler. I mean, it's just a little.
It's a bit of fluff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
And it sucks.
Well, for me, Peace of Mind was my first true. I suppose it was my first true heavy metal album, really. I mean, I'd got Kiss Rock and Roll Over and a few rock things by Genesis and what have you, but and to this day, it's still, I can listen from front to back, basically, both sides. Yes, Quest for Fire is a bit cheesy, and the lyrics in To Tame a Land I don't really care much for, but if you actually listen to the guitar work,
To Tame a Land has like,
if you just listen to it as a piece of music and not worry about the lyrics, it's another one of Harris's long, amazing time changes, and it just goes into one thing to another seamlessly.
I think this part,
You know,
this part right here,
beautiful, yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Keith, you're wrong.
It's first. And you remember the Kerrang tribute album the bands did for Iron Maiden tribute album?
I don't know if I know that.
I've not heard of that before.
What?
Who?
Dream Theater covered that. That was
Yes,
their
they did.
choice.
Yes.
Wait,
yes,
that's
they
the
did.
thing that had the Metallica thing, right?
Well, no, it's a different. I mean, Metallica was on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did. Remember Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they Entertainment Land, Dream Theater,
Yeah, and it was
who
excellent.
supported Maiden the other year.
Yeah.
I've been to so many already.
So of all the songs they could have picked, they chose that.
Right, but no, I get it, Keith.
Maybe they're big Dune fans, you know.
Is that a
Could be.
wait? Is that a Dune song?
It
It is, yeah.
It is.
But I would
They
say
sing.
up to and including Still Life is untouchable, all basically 10 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s.
The first song on side 2 is The Trooper.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
And Still Life is the most underrated Maiden song in my
You
opinion.
know what? I don't think that's
Love
true.
underrated.
Right.
Still Life is amazing. It's one of my favorite Maiden songs.
Yeah.
You're a fucking idiot.
Did you ever hear it on vinyl where the you got Nico who does that strange backwards speaking?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I looked it up, and they were basically, with like Maiden were accused of devil worship because of the Number of the Beast, and
Right.
America was burning their albums and what have you, and they're just a bunch of geezers who drink tea like me, basically British geezers who drink cups of tea. Anyway, Nico Brain, he did a mimicking thing of a guy called Idi Amin, who was some kind of African president somewhere, and he said a whole bunch of stuff, and then they reversed it, of course, and played it backwards, because the first thing you do on Still Life is get your vinyl record and then push it backwards to hear what he's saying, and of course it was a load of gobbledygook because he was speaking nonsense backwards either way, so it was like a big one of those to the world, basically.
Okay.
For who said the thing with 3 bones? Good mel with thing, who understand?
Well, didn't Overkill do something like that too? They said you're fucking up your needle or something.
No.
You are fucking up the needle for sure.
I think they did. I think you're right. That sounds
He had a
familiar.
backwards thing that said you're fucking up your needle, asshole.
That's awesome.
Now,
Well,
hey,
speaking of needles and vinyl, and there's we can skip ahead, but Revelations. I know Tim knows what I'm talking about with this, but we listened to the hell out of this album, and I think we got the album from a friend or something. It was a hand-me-down somehow, and
It's right here.
yeah. So, and we listened to it nonstop. But on the song Revelations, there were 2 moments, I think. One specifically that I remember where it would not only skip, but it would just skip and repeat, like it got stuck, right? And it was the lyric in the 3rd verse of Revelations where he says, "Bind all of us together." So it was like, "Bind all of us together, us together, us together."
So whenever both of us hear that song, I'm expecting it to skip now.
Yeah, I know.
Because we were too lazy to get to fix it. We're like, "Are you gonna fix that?" No.
No, I'm in the middle of my video game. I can't.
Yeah. So we just sit there for 10 minutes going, "Us together, us together, us together, us together." And to this day, I'm sure both of us, we hear that.
Yep.
Like, here it comes. Here it comes.
Revelations, to me, that sums up the most heavy of old school new wave of British heavy metal song that could be out there, basically. Just total, it's it's lore, it's myth, it's those. You know, you guys. Which one of you is the guitarist?
Oh, I am.
And you know, and they kind of. It's just.
It sounded like Sports Center.
Wait, you're fucking me up.
For me, it's the number one heavy metal song of all time.
I think it's my second favorite Maiden tune. I actually go
Which song?
Hallowed.
Hallowed be thy name.
Yeah, it's in Revelations is number 2 in
Right.
My favorite is "Die with Your Boots On."
Really?
Yeah,
Of all time.
I agree with
no, on this album.
Oh, on this album.
Which is, I think, a kind of a deeper cut for them.
Yeah, I'd say that's the more underrated. Much more
I just think there's some really, there's some really cool guitar work on that song. They kind of slow it down. They do some cool bends on the, on the guitar. Does anybody remember what the tape, track listing was? Because
Was it different?
I feel
so.
I feel like the Trooper was on the side 1 of the tape.
No, it
You
was
sure?
definitely song 1 on side B.
Yeah.
Yeah, side 1.
Same
you're
as the
right.
record, right?
The Trooper is on side 2. I somehow always remembered it being on side 1, but it isn't. You're right.
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay.
Trooper is on side 2.
Yeah, you always think side 1's the best of the best on this album, but
It doesn't include that classic.
Well, what's interesting about the Trooper to me is that song. I'm sick of Run to the Hills. I don't usually when that song comes on, I'll skip it, but I never skip Trooper. I think that's you just can't, and it's actually one of the Maiden songs where if someone was going to ask me what song I should listen to get into Maiden, I would probably say that one because it kind of features almost everything they're about, like great dueling guitar stuff, great harmonizing guitar stuff, great combination vocals,
The galloping triplet riff.
yeah. So it's kind of got everything that, aside from like a slower portion of some of their songs, it doesn't have that, but otherwise it just kind of hits on everything that they do, basically. So, I love that song.
It's the one. I think it's probably the one, isn't it, that everybody in the world kind of knows.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Trooper.
It's a very iconic. The picture of Eddie.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the flag,
Yep.
is one of the most famous.
He's awesome. I dressed up as him for the Richmond Zombie Walk the other year.
That's right. Yeah.
Bought over the Trooper uniform from the UK, and we made the Eddie mask here out of latex. Started off as pantyhose over my head. My wife dragged some pantyhose over my head, threw it in the eyes, and started liquid latexing me. Yeah, and turned me into Eddie. My wife.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I did the Zombie Walk as Eddie.
So for this album, I had the Live After Death before I got this album.
me too. I did too.
And they play the first 5 songs, I think. Yeah. On that. Well, they don't play Where Eagles There, but they play They play Revelations, Flight of Icarus, Die with Your Boots On, and The Trooper.
They do.
And so I was very familiar with those songs when I got the album, and I think that maybe is why I didn't listen to the second, the end of the album as much, because you kind of fast forward to what you know sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that those songs that Keith says are terrible, I think they just are so overshadowed by how good,
incredible,
how good side 1 is. Yeah.
I don't think they're bad.
I think that's accurate.
If they kind of spaced them out differently, I don't think you'd feel that way.
I'll be honest. I don't think they suck. I just was hoping to kind of stir up some kind of commotion.
Okay.
Quest for Fire is obviously the worst song of this album. But,
but I don't dislike it.
No, it's not bad. It's not a horrible song or anything.
It feels like he ran out of songs, and we just better stick that on there. But
yeah.
But again, it's not terrible. I'll listen to it from start to finish, and it doesn't. There's many bands and albums out there where you can't even, you maybe listen to 2 or 3 songs off of an album or something like that, and you skip over it. But with a lot of Maiden stuff and Metallica stuff, pretty much those 2 bands I'll listen to from start to finish most of the albums.
And the album's only 45 minutes.
Yeah, 45 minutes. You're right.
Yeah, so it's an easy listen. all the way through.
I don't know, but I mean, this era of metal, you know, it's when pretty much all the bands were coming up with the canon of heavy metal. You know, pretty much the best album. And it's insane to think that so many more modern bands can't come up with an entire album of good material. You know, back in the mid 80s, you know, Maiden, Anthrax, you know, fucking everyone was able to put out great material every single year practically.
Yeah.
It was all still new. They were still writing these new riffs, and the stuff hadn't been done before. So
right.
fertile ground. So.
It was all pretty sort of slow, and you know, it was Deep Purple and what have you before that, wasn't it? And then you know, it kicked off. I mean, even Kiss. I know you guys don't really like Kiss. I mean, but the you know, Black Sabbath, Kiss, Deep Purple, they're all stadium rock. You could almost call them rock bands, really. I mean, okay, Black Sabbath is heavier. It's like, still, if you compare it to what came after that, you know, everything got faster, heavier, chunkier, the riffs.
Yeah.
You know, smash you in the face riff.
That's right.
2-ton metal blocks.
Well, I think just the music industry itself has changed so much, though, that it's really hard to, you know, a lot of bands now just put out the single or put something. I can put this on Spotify tomorrow, so I'm going to do that. So
you can't really compare.
Is it too rushed? Are they rushing it?
I don't know if it's rushed or it's just a different business model now.
Yeah.
Oh, we already talked about Rush.
Yeah, we've done enough Rush talk.
So the song "Flight of Icarus." I know Joe's waiting for me to play the clip.
Oh, you know what? I want to say
it.
Dickarus is flying too close to the sun.
So, sorry, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say that if you're a bass player, that Flight of Icarus is one of the most fun Iron Maiden songs to play on bass. It's not hard, and it sounds cool. And it was one of the first one of their songs that I learned.
Did you happen to listen to the remastered version? There's a 2015 remaster of this album.
Oh,
and
no.
You can hear I don't know, to me, you can hear the bass really well on a lot of the songs.
I've always been able to hear
an Iron Maiden song? It's so
but I mean, it's like, I was listening to my car on the way home tonight, and I could, like, the bass was overpowering stuff. Like, it was almost, I hate saying this, but it was almost...
Shut your fucking ass up right now.
As a guitar player, I was almost too loud. No, it was good, though. It sounds really good. And yeah, I agree, Joe. That's a great bass.
Well, the biggest thing about that song, and it pisses me off so much, is they got the story wrong.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, it's like, I don't understand how they fucked that up. It's a very well-known myth. Like, somehow they're like meeting in a village, and he's, you know, there's a crowd there. No, the dad and the son were imprisoned in a tower. They didn't see anybody for quite some time, and then they collected feathers.
Shocking. Are you a Star Wars fan? Are you know, Last Jedi complainer? That's what you sound like.
No. I think they just. I think it's just
not real life.
I think they just happened to use the same name as that other story.
That very famous.
Yeah, myth. It was a coincidence, and they wrote their own version.
Yeah.
I figured there had been some horrible movie, because there's a lot of Iron Maiden songs written about, well, not horrible movies, but written about movies. And this, you know,
well, Alexander the Great was written about that Brad Pitt movie, I think.
Well, the interesting thing I found about this song was, and this was in Dickinson's book also, but I found it on Wikipedia also. Steve Harris said that releasing Flight of Icarus in the States was a mistake. He said, I wish we'd had time to break it in live before recording it. It's a lot more powerful live and a lot faster and heavier. Yeah. And that's what Dickinson emphasized in the book, was that Steve Harris wanted it to be fast, like fast and heavy. And Dickinson was the one that said, no, slow it down, have this like kind of even pace, don't rush it. And that's what ended up on the album. And I think for that reason, they played it live on that tour, but then never again until last year, actually.
No, they played it on the Power
Flight of Icarus?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, that's what it was. It was 85 was the last time they played it, which is that's Live After Death, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
85. Yeah, so they played it on that tour, but they didn't play it ever again until 2018.
It is better live.
So we're going to see
a lot of their songs are.
Yeah, we're seeing them live next year, and they should play it then because they've been playing on that Legacy of the Beast tour. I guess is what it is, right?
I've never seen it live since I've been seeing them since Seventh Son, and I've never seen it live.
No.
So, but it'll be good.
Oh,
also, Revelations was a big shock when I first got the actual album version because I was listening to Live After Death.
Yeah.
And
that silence.
No, the heavy-ish for them riff, like where the singing is, it's about 2 times faster on the live version.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it was and even still when I listen to Revelations on the album version, it's like, okay, guys, a little faster.
Listen to Hallowed Be Thy Name. That's way faster live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still great, of course. I think I agree with Keith. I think that is my favorite all-time.
Me too.
Maiden song.
That might be their best.
Yeah.
But as an album overall, I like Peace of Mind better. But.
You like which one?
I like Peace of Mind as an album overall better than Number of the Beast.
Oh yeah, I do too.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
Oh man, Number is my favorite.
Invaders, come on.
Yeah, that is the worst song. Yeah, that's worse than Quest for Fire.
Oh yeah.
And it's the first fucking song on that album. Like, why the fuck did they do that? I
don't know.
Well, it was a good place to put it though at the beginning of the album because of everything else.
Yeah,
they should have put Quest for Fire at the beginning.
I don't understand why that song made the album, and they had a hidden track that is only on like the CD that was better.
What song are you talking about?
Oh, what's the name of it?
I got the CD and the tape.
There's an extra track on Number of the Beast.
Prowler.
No.
Sanctuary.
Number of the Beast.
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary. Killers.
They play it live sometimes. It's
Total Eclipse. It could be Total Eclipse.
Yeah, Total. That's it. Yeah.
So Number of the Beast in the UK didn't have Sanctuary as the last track either, but it did in America for the American release. But the British release, we didn't have Sanctuary or Total Eclipse.
Sanctuary was with Paul Di'Anno, I thought.
That's what I thought too. That's the first album.
I think it's Killers.
No, it's the first album.
Maybe it's Total Eclipse. I'm thinking. I know. The American releases you'd have extra tracks put on them compared to the UK releases, and I know it involved Sanctuary on one of the albums and Total Eclipse, which you got in America, but we didn't.
Total Eclipse. Okay. We didn't get it on the original American release, like the tape.
When did that appear then?
And at some point it started showing up on the CD, I think.
Yeah,
okay,
I think you're right.
Okay.
And I'm guessing they just didn't have room for it, but it would have been better than an Invaders.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I just wanted to add though that Hallowed Be Thy Name is my favorite Machine Head song as well.
They did a kick-ass cover of that.
That was also on that Kerrang.
It was.
Oh, was it? Okay. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, if you haven't heard that, people out there listening, go check that out for sure. Machine Head's cover of Hallowed Be Thy Name.
Isn't Peace of Mind one of your top 2 favorite albums of all time, Paul?
Yes, absolutely.
You said that and Justice, right?
Yeah, which kind of hovers between Master of Puppets.
Yeah.
Depending, like you say, depending on the day, really.
Yeah.
But then even Peace of Mind is probably my favorite because it was my first Iron Maiden album, and I played it to death. Sat here, as a teenager, you read every last.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Thing down to the period and everything on here, and you stare at it, and I used to sit there and read all the lyrics and stare at that picture and then play it on repeat forever.
Yeah.
You probably all did in your bedrooms.
Yes.
Yep.
That is the one thing that I so miss. Like when you got an album, you didn't do anything else. You put it on, you unfolded the tape sleeve, you read along all the lyrics. I mean, you even studied the thanks list. I loved reading the thanks list.
We had zero responsibilities. That's why.
and kind of back then, I mean, I was 14. It was 1983. There was no internet. There was
we didn't have internet to distract us.
I didn't. I had a paper round. I could barely afford any of the rock magazines. I mean, I'd buy an album based on I liked the picture in a record shop, and my mates at school saying, all the nerds with long hair, and I'd listen to it, but there was nothing else. It wasn't on the radio. It was not on the television. There was no internet. There was nothing. So it kind of had a mystique to it as well. And you went to your room and you played it on repeat, and you went into your own little world, but there was no information about it other than what you read on that album cover.
Right.
And in that book, and I guess I kind of miss that because there is too much information now. It's all out there.
Yeah,
Whereas before, that was mine in my room for me, and nobody else. And there was nothing else. It was my imagination and that album.
Right, right.
And that's how the early, all the early stuff was really.
Yeah. So I think we covered this earlier, but Keith, where does this rank in your list of Maiden? Because for me, this is like tied for number 2 for my, like, Somewhere in Time is my favorite Maiden album, but Peace of Mind and Power Slave kind of.
I mean, for me, I would say Live After Death is number 1.
That's a good album.
That's cheating.
Yeah,
it's the best of.
But I mean, if we're not including that,
that's like a best of with better versions of them.
Yeah,
I mean, hands down, that's their best Iron Maiden live album.
Time out. That is the best live.
I mean,
album,
they fucking did Phantom of the Opera on that with Bruce singing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's cheating.
All right, so
it was awesome.
But I would say Number is my number 1. Power Slave number 2. Somewhere in Time number 3. Then probably the first self-titled, which I prefer that more than Killers.
No.
I don't put any of the Paul Di'Anno stuff before it. Well, but I mean,
then I'd probably say Peace of Mind, just because the first half is just so good.
Well, technically, it's the first 3 quarters, actually. Because if you look at it,
well, he doesn't like Still Life either, apparently. So.
Oh well,
it's still 2/3 at least.
Mediocre.
Oh
no, it's an 8 out of 10 for me. Definitely, it's
a 9.
Yeah,
it's an epic song.
You suck!
Nice. Yeah.
Now, did we do this list already?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We did talk about this previously.
And like for me, it's kind of a dynamic list. You know,
it is. Yeah. It's kind of like Metallica for me, where it can go back and forth. Like
for me, like,
is my favorite, but then everything else is kind of.
For me, like 82, 83, up to 88. Like you could just kind of.
Yep.
You could kind of rotate them.
That was kind of definitely their peak. Like 82 to 86 was like, man.
Although,
where would you guys say it
when
stops?
Bruce?
You guys say 88?
88.
Yeah, well, but when Bruce came back for
Brave New World,
that was
epic.
I'd throw that right back in.
Yeah, that's another album I can listen from start to finish. No problem.
Wonderful album.
Yeah, superb.
But you guys would cut it off at 7th then.
And as far as like their peak, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So 82 to 88 is like that's when they peaked, and I don't think they've been. I mean, yes, Brave New World's a great album, but I wouldn't rank it as good as those albums that came out between 82 and 86 or 88.
Not me either.
Like I wouldn't say Brave New World's better than Seventh Son.
I would definitely say, both of those are comparable to Seventh Son. I mean, like when you throw Seventh Son into that whole list, I don't know. I definitely think it's the worst of all the old albums.
No, Seventh Son for me, I mean, it's very progressive, isn't it? You know, and very experimental. It's a fantastic piece in its own right, and I wouldn't even call it heavy metal. I just kind of like progressive rock, but I put Seventh Son in its own sort of little segment, and some days I think it's the best thing I've ever heard. You know,
for me, it fits right in with what they were doing for me. Like, I don't even.
Oh yeah, I don't. It doesn't even make it. Yeah, I don't listen to the album and go, they kind of misstepped here. You know what I mean?
No,
I think the album after that, I think, is by far their biggest departure.
That album sucked. Fear the Dark ain't that great either, but No Prayer for the Dying.
I still like No Prayer for the Dying.
It was a massive disappointment. I remember it was the first time I bought a CD and I put it on and it was like, oh man, this sucks. Adrian Smith's gone, and then Bruce left. And it just sucked for a while.
You guys are brutal.
Yeah. Well, it did. I mean, all bands go up and down, don't they? All the bands go up and down. Metallica had some suckiness.
There were still good songs.
A lot of it.
You know?
All right. Calm down.
Speaking of which, let's talk about one of their best albums.
vocals.
Do
Yeah.
you want to lead us in with some stats or something, Eric? Like,
I suck again. I don't have any of the stats.
well, it's
I can tell you
Suck again.
I mean, it's the first Metallica album, obviously.
all right. Well,
released
let's
in 83, of course.
July 1983.
So
thank you,
okay,
Paul.
so as far as lineup goes, it was obviously James Hetfield on vocals and rhythm guitar. Kirk Hammett was lead guitar. We'll get into a little bit of that, I'm sure. Cliff Burton on bass and Lars Ulrich on drums, of course. But I think that one of the biggest topics of conversation with this album is the writing credits. And for those who don't know, Dave Mustaine was in the band before Kirk Hammett as lead guitar player, but he was also a main contributor to the songwriting of the band. Lots of people say, well, Dave wrote 90% of Kill 'Em All, but
if it wasn't for Dave, they wouldn't sound the way they sound.
Right, but if you look at the writing credits, it's actually more like 40% of.
I've only seen I saw his name on 2 songs.
He's only got credits on 4 songs.
4 songs. Okay.
Right. So
I mean, "Hit the Lights" was a Leather Charm song that came from James's old band.
Yeah.
And the main riff from Secret
Although,
Story, he wrote.
To be fair, they did not really follow the sound of "Hit the Lights."
No,
it was a very rock metal song.
Yeah, it is. It's new wave British heavy metal. But I mean, that riff, it's clearly an early thrash riff.
Yeah.
It is. It's no different than an Exodus riff, an old Slayer riff. I mean, it's an early thrash riff. To say that Mustaine.
I'd say it's different than a Slayer riff.
And I mean, early Slayer.
Like
Show No Mercy.
You go back to Show No Mercy, the first 2
It's a little bit more melodic than Slayer ever was.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. I'm saying that to make this claim that Mustaine taught them how to play a thrash riff, or to play fast, it's absurd.
Metal mythology.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
I don't discount what he contributed to the band, but come on.
Mm-hmm.
That was the result of multiple people putting those songs together. It wasn't just Mustaine. I mean, there was Lloyd Grant, and he was in the band. And
I bet there's probably somebody who says that Mustaine wrote Anesthesia.
What? That was the other thing about it. It's like it's a fucking bass solo on the album.
I was just going to say, Anesthesia. I mean, what other band has the balls on their debut album?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Bass solo.
Exactly.
Cliff is that good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fits perfectly. And really, Metallica, when it comes to metal, was the first band I really got into. Saw the one video and boom, that was it. Kid Down the Street got Kill 'Em All and Garage Days. And I dubbed those. And that's what I listened to for like at least the first 3 months before I think my brother, I think I told you that story, how he got Justice for All.
Yeah.
So one way or another, but I listened to this album and Garage Days just on repeat for like at least 2 months.
Yeah.
And I mean, that kid down the street, Bill, he played guitar. My brother was a drummer. And, listening to this album is why I said, hey, why don't I pick up the bass and I can hop in and maybe play that for you. And of the 3 of those people, I'm the only one who ever ended up doing anything with it.
Well, that was definitely the most, one of the most different things I've ever heard on a metal album up to that point. Like, holy shit, why there's a bass solo out of the middle of nowhere? Like, that was just, you don't hear that. Like you said, no other band was doing
no one else has done that since,
Yeah. So, and of course he is that good. So it also caught you off guard a little bit to just how it sounded. Like it didn't sound like a bass guitar. It was that distorted and that wah going on. It was just, this doesn't sound like your typical bass. When I think of bass guitar, this isn't what I think of. You know what I mean?
He was playing like a seasoned veteran, basically.
Yeah.
Already.
You could tell he knew what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah.
Well, and he studied music theory, and he did, he knew a lot more about music than the other guys did. So
I was into Metallica for maybe a year, and then we got I think I got my brother for Christmas Cliff 'Em All, the VHS tape.
Yeah.
And up to that point in my life, I'd been playing drums and not been really good at it. And when I saw that fucking Cliff 'Em All video, I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I want to play bass.
Yeah, I'm sure lots of people.
That changed the course of my musical life.
Yeah.
You know, getting those VHS tapes. I mean, I got one was the first one and Cliff 'em all.
I had that one too. Yeah, I think we got both of those.
I mean, back then there was hardly anything from anybody.
Right.
I mean, there was an Iron Maiden video from Live After Death, the VHS, Cliff 'em all, and Metallica. Just to get anything to see them was, for me, that was amazing. You know, I absolutely loved those videos. Played them to death, just because it was a visual. Because in the UK, you had MTV, where we still didn't have MTV when you had it, and to have that video was like, I haven't even seen these guys.
Well, MTV was not playing Cliff 'em all either.
No, exactly.
So you needed that.
Yeah.
No. First time we saw them was this really weird random report on speed metal. And they had this quick interview with Lars. And it was like, that's what he sounds like? That guy sounds weird.
They do.
He looks like a little twat.
It is a funny accent.
Yeah. But we watched that little clip over and over. It's like, that's a little window to their world that we had.
How are you? Like Cliff Burton, for me in high school as a kid, was like the fucking coolest person of all time. You know?
Yeah.
Like
he had that. That's the attitude that he kind of portrayed on the Cliff 'em all, and everything about him was so fucking badass.
Yeah.
Well, can we talk about the production a little bit? Because it's not great. Of course,
it was 1983.
I know
it's not great, but it's not bad.
It's
and
not horrible. Yeah.
in ways, I think it's better than the next album because you can actually
ride the lightning.
because you can actually hear everybody playing.
I don't know. I mean, production-wise,
maybe that's more of a mixing thing.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know. I mean, you look at a lot of the other albums that came out in the early 80s, and they suffer that same.
Yeah, they do.
You know, the recording industry itself, I think, has grown a lot and learned a lot.
Yeah,
and again, the technology in and of itself makes things.
Of course,
it's beyond. Yeah, it's advanced beyond what you can imagine.
Yeah.
But I mean, I listened to it again today, and I think it's part of James' vocals, very schoolboy, screechy.
Yeah.
So I was feeling like, is there enough bass? But I feel like it's probably because it was very screechy and too loud.
In the early 80s, you know, pretty much all vocalists needed to hit high notes for some stupid, fucked up, dumb reason.
Yeah.
Every vocalist always made sure they had to get high.
Yeah.
So he was just emulating what is popular at the time.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't have his really vocal style down at that point anyway. He was just doing what he thought he could, you know.
Well, immediately changed in Ride the Lightning. I mean, I listened to it back to back.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately, that sounded like Hetfield immediately.
Well, that's just playing out live. That's just over and over playing live and getting that, you know, getting the vocal.
But of course, we gotta mention that they wanted to get a singer after this album.
They did. They wanted John Bush.
Yeah, they went looking for John Bush. Well, they wanted John Bush from Armored Saint. So of course ended up later on being an Anthrax, but I don't know if they auditioned vocalists or they just wanted to get John Bush. Maybe Tim knows more than that.
But I don't think James wanted to be the singer at that point.
He never did really.
To this day, he's like, I'm the fill-in guy.
Yeah.
Although he did say during their induction on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he did say that he had a poster of Steven Tyler and Joe Perry on his wall, and he's like, I want to be both that rock and roll, like I want to be the rock star, but I want to do both kind of thing. So I don't know. It's hard to say. If, you know, maybe he just says that just say that.
No, but once he got his voice, I mean, you hear some of these Kill 'Em All tracks that they sing live. I mean, they're so much better with his found voice. So I'd like to hear the whole album. I'd like the whole album remade with him singing.
Yeah, well, the closest you'll get to that is live stuff. Just go collect.
If they're not going to remix the bass on
Justice for
of course.
But they played the whole album back to back in 2013.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, if we're still talking about bass, I do want to mention that the bass on a lot of these songs, like I never really, as a guitar player, didn't pay that close attention to bass, but I tried to listen a little closer this time, and songs like Jump in the Fire, where you don't really expect the bass to be, it's actually really fucking good. Like the stuff that Cliff is doing on simple songs like that, it really kind of makes the song better.
Well,
I love the riffs in Am I Evil?
So let me
Well,
let me go back to what you're saying, Eric. So I listened to the No Life to Leather demo.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to that a couple times in preparation for this, and of course on that is Ron McGovney, the bass player, and he's obviously not as good as
Right.
Cliff, but I mean, almost nobody was going to be as good.
Yeah.
But so like Jump in the Fire, that bass part in the intro, is what Ron McGovney is doing for the most part. Cliff adds a little bit to it, but he's still following the original part.
Okay.
And I'll actually say that during the Four Horsemen, I kind of like what Ron McGovney did better. he stays on the E throughout the whole Four Horsemen chorus, and I kind of think that's cooler.
Joe, you better pick up a 6 string because you're no longer allowed to touch a 4.
I'm just saying, like, he just rides the E, and it kind of works better with that chorus. This is like inside baseball, right?
Yeah, but then you've got
riding the E, the basic metal bass thing.
Everything.
The bass line in the middle of Four Horsemen, though. That whole thing is.
Oh no!
amazing.
And well, they didn't do that back then.
No.
I wouldn't think so.
That was after
it was the Mechanics back then.
Yeah.
Did they even have that in Mechanic? Is that even part of Mechanic?
No, it's not. No,
I didn't think so.
The version of that song is became the Megadeth version.
Oh, and then of course Dave
faster
Mustaine claimed that the middle of Four Horsemen came from
Sweet Home
Alabama.
Cliff and I became really, really, really close, and I remember he had an affinity for Lynyrd Skynyrd. And I remember driving to rehearsal one day, we were listening to Sweet Home Alabama, and Lars goes, "Oh man, we have to slow this part down in the middle, man." And I went, okay, so I went, and I was playing Sweet Home Alabama, and he didn't know it, and he goes, "Fuck, that's fucking brilliant, man." And I went, okay, here it goes. So I ditched it. Dave Mustaine and Lynyrd Skynyrd wrote the Four Horsemen.
I don't know if that's true or not.
And the lyrics and the mechanics are
notes. Like, I know how to play both. You know how to play both, Eric.
Oh yeah,
it's not the same.
I think a lot of what he's going to say is bitterness.
Oh yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah.
To this day,
You know,
5 years later, or whatever.
He's
The lyrics and the mechanics are atrocious.
Oh, and it's speaking of lyric changes, the original Jump in the Fire lyrics are
so
hilarious.
Bad. They're maybe worse than mechanic.
They are. But
yeah.
Have you heard
really,
these?
really bad.
Can you put some of that up on YouTube, Eric?
What's the original?
Well,
song
yeah.
title? I mean, what's the Megadeth version? Or
There's
is it
no
just-
Megadeth version of Jump in the Fire. there's a version of Jump in the Fire on the No Left to Leather.
Just pull that up on YouTube.
Okay, we'll see what I can
With different lyrics. The lyrics are so bad.
And the way he sings them are so cheesy.
Oh, it's awful.
Sitting in my room with my head in my hands. It's so fucking weird.
What?
It's like, talks about getting high.
Oh, it's embarrassing. It's so bad. And then the funny thing is they kick Mustaine out and immediately change the lyrics.
Yeah.
Immediately.
You hear the bass though, Eric?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Cliff's is better. But don't go with that.
Yeah. So that's James, right?
Yeah.
I guarantee you Mustaine was telling him how to sing, because that sounds like
Mustaine.
early version of Mustaine. Holy shit. It's like totally eye-opening.
the lyrics, the vocals don't match that heavy riffing.
No.
Well, that's why they turned it into a devil worship song.
Which is so much better.
Yeah.
So much
Well, you gotta love Satan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have nowhere else to go, just go with Satan.
It's kind of like a Judas Priest wannabes, wasn't it? Like you say, in the early 80s, they all wanted to scream.
Yeah.
Hold your nuts and scream. High.
The other thing I noticed about this album, as far as production goes, maybe not production, but maybe it was more drumming style. But he loved that ride cymbal, but the ride didn't sound good. Like it, way too tinny. Like he wasn't hitting the bell of the ride; he was hitting just the kind of tapping the ride. It was like this ting 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 ting. And it wasn't. It didn't have a.
They probably didn't have
It was what, Eric? Ting?
sponsorships yet.
Yes.
Rock the theme tune, sing the theme tune.
Well, I imagine at that point they didn't have like the Zildjian or Pasty.
No.
sponsorship.
Well, Lars was still learning too.
Yeah, that's true. He was playing drums for what, 2 years at this point, bro?
He was self-taught and had never taken a single lesson. And even he took lessons after that album.
So is this the easiest drum album by them, Tim?
Isn't their newer stuff kind of easy too?
Well, not the newest stuff, but maybe Load.
Well, all he does is use the snare. So
Yeah, okay, well, I know on Guitar Hero, playing Hit the Lights was really, really hard.
Oh, okay.
It was really hard.
Okay.
Because it wasn't mainly because it wasn't straight. Like the other stuff's pretty straightforward. Like where the bass drum and the playing on this album is kind of erratic. So to match that perfectly was very difficult on a video game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think this is the easiest. No, I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going song by song. I mean, Whiplash
we
is
skipped over. So
yeah. That's off Horseman, Motor Breath. That's always a good song live too.
I wish you had a copy of our the version of our cover of Whiplash. Play a clip of that.
Which one? The one where I dropped the stick?
The home video that we did.
Were you wearing a devil mask?
Oh, was I?
I know. I don't
No,
think
I had
you-
I think I had overkill hat on.
Yes, that's right. Because we are instinct.
Yeah. So what song are you up to?
Whiplash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which is
We skipped a bunch.
we didn't skip a bunch.
Okay.
We skipped Motor Breath. That's pretty much it.
That's a Hetfield only writing.
So I remember when I'm going to say my brother and we got Megadeth's first album, and Mechanics comes on.
Yeah.
And we had no idea that was going to be there. So, and it doesn't start out the same at all. And we're like, what the fuck is this song? How do we fucking know this?
I know. It was so
Four Horsemen.
Yeah. I remember looking at the line notes and it said Mustaine, and I was like, Mustaine? Where have I heard that name Mustaine? I was like, oh wait, he was on that weird Megadeth album that I heard the other day. There was no internet. There was nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't well known, and Megadeth wasn't a well-known band at that point, really.
No.
So
wait, like,
Well, I mean, I knew both of the bands at that point, and I even knew Mustaine had been in Metallica.
Yeah, I didn't know that. This was 86 when I heard it.
Yeah, it was probably 88 or 89 for me. So,
okay.
I had just heard Peace Cells. Like it was.
I guess it was 89. Yeah, so we were like,
yeah,
what is going on here?
Yeah, why is this on here? How did this happen?
This is a major ripoff.
Yeah. Well, you could tell it was the same song, but like how? How did this happen?
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
I see. So okay, my problem with Kill 'Em All, I put it on. I don't know where I'd rank it overall. It's like Joe was saying with Maiden albums, it's kind of like, it varies from moment to moment. But there's songs like Phantom Lord that are it's just way cheesy. I'm not a big fan of that song.
Oh, I love that song, but I think I like the bass playing in it.
And Metal Militia is really cheesy and
Metal Militia's good.
So those two songs, and it's
I mean, the two covers on it.
I like Metal Militia. No Remorse live, like when they do it now,
that's a great
it's got a really good groove and it's heavier.
No Remorse is a great song.
I'll give that a 7 out of 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seek and Destroy, I cannot listen to the album version, but I mean, it's fun to sing when you're at a show.
Yeah, but overplayed for sure.
Yeah.
I'd recommend on No Remorse, if you can find the 85 version of that from that German gig where they played Disposable Heroes for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, James is super pissed, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
He's just screaming the whole time in this pissed off.
Which song?
No Remorse.
No Remorse.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they
The reason why he was pissed off?
Huh?
It just sounded pissed off.
They just was doing full-blown Hetfield rage.
Rage, fucking rage.
That's
Fucking rage. I can feel it. I need that sound clip for when I have to go shopping with my wife.
You don't have a Maurice?
As I walk around the clothes shop, I felt fucking rage.
Eric, can you pull up some of Phantom Lord by Anthrax?
Yeah, is that on?
John Bush.
It's so awesome.
It is quite good.
It was on the soundtrack or something, I thought.
Yeah.
Now the bass series doing really good octaves. You might not notice.
Yeah, that's good.
I can hear the riff better in this version.
I think it's tuned down too. I think the version's tuned down.
Well, you can't, you know, you have to tune down because James' vocals are way too high. Sure. All right. Yeah, that's good. I'm sure I've heard that before, but I just,
I love that version.
forgot about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
I didn't know that version existed.
Yeah.
That's how I would like to hear it. That, as you say, tuned down, that lower, meteor sound.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, you know, I know I keep harping on this, but it's not. I don't go to Kill 'Em All a lot simply because I like James's vocal style better on the other albums. So if I'm going to listen to stuff off Kill 'Em All, I'll probably just pop on like live shit or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
that's
why they refined a lot of those songs live too. Like the Four Horsemen's so much better live.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Keith, just to make it clear, I'm not going to say the songs on Load are better than the songs on Kill 'Em All. I'm not saying that, although I do like some songs better than, like, I would say Outlaw Torn is better than Metal Militia.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But if you know, because I know when we did the other episodes, I happened to say that Load might be better than Kill 'Em All, and I got blowback for that. So
even my wife
deserved it.
Yeah,
it's hard to compare those two, though.
It is. Yeah,
that's almost like comparing two different bands.
Almost. Yeah.
Well, it is. I mean, it really almost is because they were a completely different band at that point. So, yeah. But I just wanted to set the record straight there. People.
It's funny. We're comparing two albums, or we're talking about two albums, Iron Maiden and then Metallica. And Iron Maiden, who they're my favorite bands by far, but they have a formula and they do their thing, and you know an Iron Maiden album when you hear it right away.
Yeah, that's true.
And then Metallica has been all over the place, and they're one of my other favorite bands, and they've tried different sounds and different types of music, and they even have an album that I won't even listen to all of because I hate it so much.
Well, so Iron Maiden.
I thought about this.
That's true. Iron Maiden does have 2 albums I do not want to listen to, but
Blaze Bailey.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this
Virtual 11 is pretty good.
Really? Really?
I like it. I like it.
Sound effects, Eric. You're missing the boat.
And I like it. And don't forget, I'm English. We invented America. So I win. That's it. End of.
I didn't know losing a war meant invented. But
No. That war, by the way, we were still England. We fought ourselves and beat ourselves. You weren't America yet, so how could you have kicked our ass?
Okay, however you want to. Semantics. Hey, England, you don't want us. You do not want us.
Rage, fucking rage.
Just admit you knew what you were doing.
So, getting back to these albums.
Yeah.
I was going to say a good way to button this up may be to ask this question. What's a better album, Peace of Mind or Kill 'Em All?
Peace of Mind.
Peace of Mind.
I agree. I think Peace of Mind is actually a better album.
Absolutely.
Kill 'Em All is Metallica's first album. Peace of Mind is already four in.
And that's my point too. Is they're like way more better. You know, they're established a lot better at this point.
I think
How about this?
Everything you're saying.
What's a more important album in the history of metal?
Oh, Kill 'Em All.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they
both have their strengths for sure. Yeah.
But I mean, everything you're saying, Eric, about the production and James not being really that good of a vocalist at that time and trying to do stuff that was popular instead of what it sounded better. These are all elements that why it's not as good as.
Yeah, true.
But what a first album for them, though. It kicked them off. I mean, it's a big first album for a bunch of young guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think, there's songs on Peace of Mind that are some of my favorite ever by Iron Maiden. And when I think of some of my favorite songs ever by Metallica, not a lot of them from Kill 'Em All pop up. Mm-hmm. So that's my biggest thing. Like I if I'm listening to Maiden, I usually pop on Somewhere in Time, Peace of Mind, or Power Slave. Those are like the first 3 I go to. When I pop on Metallica, it's not usually Kill 'Em All. So.
As a guy who barely throws in Metallica much, if I'm going to throw in Kill 'Em All, the first song I want to listen to, Seek and Destroy.
Really?
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Not
since we've seen them live so many times that it's become, or even watched live videos and stuff like that. It just kind of becomes,
like Run to the Hills.
Yeah, it is.
Or Enter Sandman.
Kind of Run to the Hills,
I like Run to the Hills.
I mean, it's a
still
great
like
song.
Run to the Hills.
It's just stop fucking playing that thing.
Yeah, it's overplayed.
That Run to the Hills in Rio. Oh fuck.
Oh, at the end where they build it up like yeah.
The crowd.
Oh
my god.
No, well, I mean,
the crowds in South America, man. I mean,
insane.
That's ridiculous.
They make us look like we're asleep.
I know.
Yeah.
Us standing there like that.
Yeah. It's that whole soccer vibe they have there.
Watching that's the whole thing. Like, you guys, I know, watch all the videos that come out and you buy all the VHS tapes or whatever. I never did any of that. I always wondered. Huh?
I thought you meant now. Sorry.
One way or another, like, I finally saw what is it?
Back to the Future?
No. I don't think it was for the Book of Souls tour, but it was one of the last Iron Maiden live.
Flight 666.
Flight 666, yeah.
Holy
shit, that just blew my fucking mind.
That's amazing.
That was insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Americans are shitheads, but I didn't expect the rest of the world to be that fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's not even
crazy.
close. It's totally, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Keith, Sarah Huckabee Sanders said that we're the only country that values life. What are you talking about? Who? What do you mean? Fuck those other countries.
Yeah. Weirdly,
Why
there is
are
a
we
world.
talking about her?
There is a world outside of planet America, guys.
I listen,
What?
I only listen to
Thank
her.
God.
Well, we all know it's flat, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely flat.
You know
Or
what's
is it donut shaped?
You know what the thing I was working at a station where I have to drive like right by the beach last month.
Yeah.
To get to, like going home and coming back. And I would go home in the mornings and I would look to the right, to the east, and I'm like, and it's just, you're on a bridge and you can see the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
And you can fucking see the curvature of the earth right fucking there.
Well,
like I'm
all
looking
I
up
gotta say
there.
is NASA. I mean, that's
I'm like, why can't I see Europe from here if it's flat? It's a clear fucking day.
Why are you applying logic to this argument?
Like, I can see. It's not. I'm applying sight. You can see.
Already there, Neil
curves.
deGrasse Tyson.
I guess it's people in Kansas that can't see the ocean. I don't know.
You get a telescope out, you'll see the White Cliffs of Dover. You got to squint. Though.
Oh, okay. I need a telescope.
that's what it is.
The air gets blurry after so long. Except I can see the stars and the moon. I can't see Europe.
That's just the government putting stuff up.
Oh,
it's
chemtrails.
Oh, that's right.
So, does anyone have anything else on Kill 'Em All before we move on?
I think I like it better than Peace of Mind.
Oh.
I think you must be a heathen.
Yeah. You really think it's better than Peace of Mind, Tim?
I think that if I was to listen, if you said, okay, well, Metallica's going to play a bunch of stuff off of Kill 'Em All and Maiden's going to play a bunch of stuff off of Peace of Mind, I'd be more excited about hearing stuff from Kill 'Em All.
Make an assessment.
That's my assessment. And it's my favorite band, and it's their first album. And
But again, 2 albums from two of the greatest bands known to man.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue. Both are great albums, but gun to my head, I'm going Peace of Mind.
Two bands where you can listen to multiple albums from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I can do that.
I came into this episode trying to be the second half of Peace of Mind is garbage, and I'm even flat out saying that the total album of Peace of Mind is better than the total album of Kill 'Em All.
Yeah, but you say like Master of Puppets versus anything that Iron Maiden's ever put out. I'm going to say Master of Puppets. So,
is it possible that Iron Maiden's my favorite band, but Master of Puppets is my favorite metal album?
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing. Maiden always has like an Invaders or a Quest for Fire. I don't know if they have a perfect album that doesn't have one stinker on it. Puppets.
I think Puppets is
every goddamn song is perfect.
Every note, as one of our emailers said, like about.
Oh, that was about it. That was about Hallows Eve, the band Hallows Eve.
Oh,
that was Chris.
Come on, don't you all know that?
But anyway, the
Insanity was the album.
I appreciate the thought. Like you could go, every note is perfect on this.
Yep. Man, that's Puppets and Justice for me.
Yeah, I agree. And Justice. And in fact, maybe even more Justice. But
yeah. It shades it for me.
Yeah, especially the riffs. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, if we don't have anything else to talk about, we can just move on, right? We can end the show.
I don't fucking like where this is going, man.
Well, let's see here. We were talking about like a lot of people did some album that was a bunch of Metallica songs. Metallica does a lot of songs on some of their garage stuff from this band.
They make them sound a lot better.
Oh, Jesus. You know why they
I
did
said
it?
they make them sound a lot better.
And you know why they decided to do those songs?
Because they like them?
They like this band.
Well, good for them.
They did it. They did it because they made them sound better, make themselves sound better. It was an ego trip.
All right.
Let's put on something terrible, and then we're going to sound good.
So we're going to do the...
What are we talking about?
We're talking about Mercyful... Okay, so the album we're talking about now is Melissa by Mercyful Fate.
There's 3 hostile witnesses here, right, Your Honor?
I mean, I get it. We've already been through this before.
Yeah.
There are people that like King Diamond, and then there are fucking idiots.
All right. I've been trying to like King Diamond for the better part of 30 years now.
So you're a fucking idiot.
And I...
Tim.
Even now, fuzzy little man Peach.
Tim.
Yeah.
Do or do not? There is no try.
Well, clearly, because I do not.
Do not.
Joe, I'm going to give my honest. I'm going to give my honest opinion. Most of the song, the riffing, and I like the music.
Mm-hmm.
If you could move the vocals completely, I would actually think this was a great album.
Right, and you know what? I appreciate that, and I get it, but Keith would say the exact same thing to me and Eric and Tim about Overkill.
True.
Yeah. I've actually said that numerous times.
And that's where I just don't get why you guys. That's where I don't get the rift here between these two bands.
I listened to this album 1.5 times.
What?
Because the first time I really had to force myself to finish it. I was like, all right, well, let me go back again. That was like November. So I went back again last week and tried to listen to it again. I couldn't get through it. The vocals are just, I can't get past it. I'm sorry. I can't. I've tried and I just can't do it.
That's my stumbling block as well. There's parts where it's like, okay, that's okay. He has kind of a mid-range that he does, and that's okay. But he can't help himself. He just has to go to like full-blown.
It's called falsetto.
Yeah. I know what it is.
And I do like the music. Like Paul said, I do actually like most of the riffs are really good. There are some moments on this album though.
And for 1983, this is like take the vocals out.
I mean,
this is some of the best metal that you're going to hear.
It's way ahead of its time for sure.
Yeah.
Especially the first 5 songs. They get really self-indulgent in the last 2, I think.
I did like this little thing. Beginning of Into the Coven. My notes say it almost sounds like a Christmas song.
Yeah, it does.
Speaking of Christmas songs, he has a great Christmas song.
No Presents for Christmas. I got that for Christmas one year.
That's a great song.
Yeah, I found myself actually trying to tune out the lyrics, and I was just listening to the riffing and the music, and actually,
it's great.
Solid fucking tune.
Yeah, that part of it's great. It's just the guy who's singing. He sounds like something he like watched Spinal Tap, and this is how I ought to sing, you know. Yeah. You know, other than that, it's good.
Yeah.
Did you think a song called Curse of the Pharaohs was going to be serious?
Well, we had this conversation before, but do you listen to it and go, haha, that's funny because it's a joke? No. Or do you listen and go, this is fucking awesome?
You just embrace the metal.
It's
I embrace the 2 minutes to midnight riff. There you go.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, let's talk about that. So, Curse of the Pharaohs. Yeah, so you've got that, and then you've got
yeah, you know what, they ripped off Iron Maiden in reverse.
Well, no, I'm not saying they ripped them off. It's interesting. It's just interesting. I don't think anyone ripped anyone. They're just very similar riffs.
Though I think Iron Maiden ripped them off, actually.
Timeline wise, they would have.
Yeah, I don't know if it was
off. Yes,
I bet it was not intentional, but
no, I don't. No,
subliminal.
It's just.
But that's the point. They've got some great heavy metal riffing in there. Yeah. It's actually great heavy metal.
And it continues with King Diamond.
Oh, yeah, that's true. The King Diamond
Andy LaRocque, I'd say, is better guitarist than Hank Sherman.
I don't know the names of these guys.
Yeah, Hank Sherman and Mike Denner are the guitarists, and or at least on this album. I mean, that was the one thing. Mercyful Fate was its own thing, and King Diamond, as you guys have all expressed, is his own kind of entity. Mm-hmm. So he kind of went off and did his own thing, which is awesome too.
We already talked about that.
Yeah. But one way or another, I would say Andy LaRocque. Man, I fucking love that guy.
I didn't write down the actually, you know what? I did. I did write down the lineup. So it was King Diamond vocals, Hank Sherman guitar, Michael Danner guitar, Tim Grabber Hansen on bass.
Grabber?
It says that in quotes on Wikipedia. Grabber.
I hardly knew her.
And Kim Ruz on drums.
Kim?
Yeah.
Kim
Ruz. Kim. Yeah. Not Tim. Kim.
A lady? A lady?
Damn it! I don't have that clip.
Wonder if. Do you think it was a? Do you think it was a female playing the drums?
No, I don't think so. No. There are, Kim Thale from Soundgarden. That's a dude.
Also, the back of this album has 5 guys standing there. So
yeah.
So what's the Metallica thing with this band? What's the story?
I think Lars is the one who's just a huge fan.
I think they all were.
King Diamond.
Well,
he's Danish, right?
Yeah, the whole band's from Denmark.
Yeah.
Oh, they all are.
Yeah.
Oh, Kim.
Danish.
That probably is Tim.
Yeah, all of Mercyful Fate is Danish.
Yeah.
Right.
Only one of King Diamond is Danish, and it's King.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, so yeah, obviously Lars.
Only one of King
Lars
Diamond is Danish, and it's. I feel like there's a more efficient way to state that.
That was very good.
You could cook up some bacon, couldn't you? Danish bacon. You have that here in America?
No.
What is it?
Wait, Paul.
You don't have Danish?
Where are you, Paul?
I'm in America now.
Yeah, where?
Here in my house.
More broadly.
No, I'm in North Chesterfield, Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I know. I'm kind of lost. I'm sort of. I went out to buy a loaf of bread, and then 3,000 miles later, I'm here. I mean, what the fuck happened? I don't know. It's all that heavy metal. It's scrambled.
Could have been worse. That's not a bad place to wind up.
Well, should we get back to Melissa?
Oh,
I did actually have the song "Black Funeral." I actually like the bass a lot in that song. That was really good.
Wait, you've been saying how much you like this band and King Diamond's band, but not the vocals. So it's just the bass on Melissa that you like from this album?
No, I
this
said
album
the song "Black Funeral" specifically had some really cool bass stuff in it. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I still remember I bought this album from the record tape exchange.
Record, yeah.
Yeah.
Over by the 7-Eleven.
Oh yeah. Well, the 7-Eleven's not there anymore.
Probably.
So much Satan.
So that's when he does that stuff.
Doesn't bother me at all.
That bass stuff
That's great riffs. Great riffs.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
His vocals bother me none. Like, it's just his thing to me. It's no different than Bobby Blitz. Like, it's like.
No, Blitz has a grit to him.
Yeah, but he does. This guy has his own.
And he
I don't know.
No.
No. See, this is where you guys are both retarded.
They should have when they went to record that album, they should have kidnapped the vocalist and dumped him in a ditch with a bullet in his forehead. If they are allowed guns in Europe, they would have.
Well, all right, Paul. What do you think about Overkill?
I don't know if he knows Overkill. Do you know Overkill?
No. The only Overkill I know is by Motorhead.
Should I play him some Overkill? So
That's where they stole their name from.
Yeah.
Our great debate is that Joe and I love Mercyful Fate, King Diamond, and, well, I guess Joe, Tim, and Eric love Overkill.
And I'm I'm in the middle of that Venn diagram. Like all of them.
Well, I'm on the road to Greensbridge tomorrow, so I shall listen to Overkill.
Well, here, I'll play some for you.
Yeah, play the album we did, 3 episodes ago?
Oh, you want to play some of that stuff?
More than that, right?
Yeah,
That was a while ago. I would play something from Years of Decay. Or
Which album? Because I'm going to bring it up on YouTube. Which album?
WFO.
Oh, WFO. You're going that far?
Yeah, sure.
94?
I mean,
yeah, that's a good mix. It's That's a good representation.
WFO.
Okay, yeah, I'll give it a crack tomorrow.
Might not be a good example.
It comes right here.
It's kind of Mustaine-ish, isn't it?
A little bit.
It's a lot higher than
Less nasally. It's like bare bones from that live album we just talked about last night.
Yeah, no, the vocals are a bit sketch, aren't they?
Yeah. I wish you had done one that really showed how.
The,
If I want to do that, I'll just play this.
But immediately, I like that. That riffing is nice and hard and heavy and bassy.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Well, this is one of their most popular songs, right?
Right.
Better. I think that's a good example.
It's
right?
kind of it's kind of Dead Kennedy's punk metal.
Yeah, their early stuff.
I love the way you're saying that, but I don't see it at all.
No, I mean, do you know the Dead Kennedys, you guys?
Yeah, Jello Biafra.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
He's the
kind
big
of
punk guy.
yeah. I'm the punk guy on the show, so
it's a kind of little punky sounding, just that little. But yeah,
They're
I can hear
rooted
that.
with they have punk roots, I think.
They do. Yeah.
Their first album was a lot of. I mean, it wasn't as sloppy as punk, but
Yeah, it was
Right.
heavy metal, but with punk roots, maybe.
right. No, I'll listen to that. But yeah, the vocals are a bit.
They're not King Diamond territory, though.
No,
no, they suck.
Overkill's way better than King Diamond and Mercyful.
yeah.
I have to say that.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
But yeah, that's that first one you played there. Meaty, very meaty.
They have a lot of. I mean, if you play Evil Never Dies, like
I was going to play that actually, but
Oh.
we could go on and on about Overkill,
Yeah.
but this episode's not about Overkill.
yeah,
It could be.
Well, let's talk about Satan.
Oh, hail Satan!
Well, I mean, that's the one thing about Mercyful Fate
Satan.
that led really into King Diamond is how Satan.
yeah.
You know, I mean, those
How
guys
Satan.
just love some Satan.
Oh, how Satan!
They, they were all about some Satan.
Yeah.
Satan's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, what's more heavy metal than Satan?
Speaking of bands that sing about Satan, I feel like Ghost is more Blue Oyster Cult worshiping Satan. than-
Yes, I think
Yeah.
that too. Actually,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think he blew it there.
yeah.
Well, I think the comparison to Mercyful Fate, well, I guess it'd be Ghost to Mercyful Fate, is really
There's
not
no
accurate
comparison.
at all. It's when they first came out, people said they were a ripoff of Mercyful Fate, and they were just trying to.
Ghost?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ghost. To this day, people say that. They say they're just ripping off Mercyful Fate.
There's nothing even close about the two.
Yeah, they're not that heavy.
It's
No, they're not
I mean,
really.
it's metal music, but they're not. I mean, the distortion levels, everything I've heard so far is good, but it's not.
35 years apart. I mean, Mercyful Fate is definitely old school heavy metal, and and sounds it. And Ghost is like 21st century. It's totally different. I mean, to be fair to Mercyful Fate, I will listen to that again, and I'm just going to tune out the lyrics.
Yeah, the riffs.
Yeah.
Oh, the lyrics
Yeah,
are fantastic. It's maybe you don't like the falsetto.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's
yeah.
not just the falsetto.
Well, it's just the singing. I'm just tuning it out. I'm focused
Wait,
totally.
wait, Tim. What do you mean it's not just the falsetto? I mean,
It's
not.
it's the whole package.
Cheese. It's cheese.
It's the whole. It's the whole
Velveeta.
presentation.
Spinal Tap were better.
Eric, I wish we could get those recordings back with Eric Josephson. We did the King Diamond tribute.
Oh my, yes.
That shit was great.
What are you talking about?
Our first band, me and Joe.
Yeah.
You guys had a band without Tim?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For a couple of years.
Like, I think I was 15. Eric was probably 16.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So there's a song on Melissa. Getting back, like veering everywhere off topic. But
Satan's Fall.
Yeah, that's actually what song I was going to talk about. Where I think that song starts out really great, and then around the 1:45 mark, it goes into this.
It's an 11-minute song.
I know, but it's like that riff sounds like a 12-year-old riff. I feel like I was watching Evil Dead all of a sudden.
I'm smelling your soul. I like Evil Dead.
I do love Evil Dead because it's a comedy horror movie.
I just went,
that was a bit of a noisy mess, really, wasn't it?
We were talking earlier about his Christmas song. I had the EP for No Presents for Christmas. No idea what happened to it, during the 90s, and now you can't find that anywhere.
iTunes has it.
Well, fuck you.
Trying to help. Apparently, I'm on nobody's side tonight.
You're out on an island by yourself. Sorry, Joe. You and King Diamond, enjoy.
He's Treebeard. One of the rings.
I mean, yeah, it's of course Lord of the Rings.
Treebeard. Remember what Treebeard said?
Who? I don't know.
Treebeard. I'm on nobody's side because nobody's on my side.
You guys are getting a little nerdy for me.
Jeez.
Yeah, how's the British guy not talking about J.R.R. Tolkien? Yeah, you're a Star Wars fan and not a Lord of the Rings fan?
No.
What would you?
No. I have a life, and this,
No, you don't. You're a Star Wars fan. Hey, Lord of the Rings was filmed in New Zealand, so.
Bye. You're under arrest.
You can't shoot anything, so it doesn't matter.
It's got a point.
You want to bet? You want to bet?
I'm sure you can, personally, but as soon as you put on that mask.
Oh, yeah, you can't see shit. You can't see shit in there.
Yeah, probably.
You're right. Absolutely.
I do think the production on that album is pretty good, Melissa.
Oh, for 83, yeah, absolutely.
It sounds really good.
I mean, it might be the best Mercyful Fate album. I mean, they didn't really put out a bad one. I mean, I don't think you guys think they're all bad.
No, it's just the vocals, really. I think they're great albums.
Yeah.
The vocals are.
I agree. It's just the vocals.
Yeah.
A bit off-putting.
Yeah, they're really good classic metal records. It's just, just the vocals. I played the album a bunch. I mean, a lot.
I think I like the King Diamond album better than this one.
That's Andy LaRock, King's guitarist. I just think he's.
Yeah, I think the music was. I like the music better on the King Diamond album on them, like the riffing and. Because I noticed on a couple of these songs that it almost sounded like the guitar was out of tune. Like I'm like, what's going on here? So, and that just may have been lesser technology. I don't know.
Yeah. It was 1983.
All right, guys, I'm going to sign off.
Okay.
Cheers, man.
Thank you for joining us, Paul. It was awesome talking to you.
Thank you for having me along, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys rock. It's hilarious. And I love listening to the podcast when I'm on the road a lot as a salesman. So I like listening to your insane chatter. And now I'm part of it.
We're gonna hopefully work harder this year on getting podcasts out quicker.
I think
you're welcome anytime, Paul.
Again, thank you for joining us. We'll catch you next time.
You'll rock.
All right, man.
Later.
See ya.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Bye.
Well, is there more on Mercyful Fate, or have we?
I think we've covered it.
Okay.
I
So-
wish there was some way to end the show, but
Well, what else is new?
I got pissed.
I got pissed too. We should probably just end the show then.
All right.
So, social media: Facebook.com/SomewhereInTimePodcast.
More
Twitter,
More-
Twitter.com.
More energy. Hey,
Rage, fucking rage.
.com.
Eric, I want you to
Rage,
channel the ghost of Duke Ellington.
Hey! Twitter.com/SAT Music Podcast and Instagram.com/SomewhereInTimePodcast.
Again.
No, not again. They get it. And if they don't get it, well, fuck them.
Hey, man. We love them.
All right, let's end the show, people.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for listening. See you guys later.
Me?
Energy, aggression, power. To sum it up, it's a vulgar display of power. Metal and certain other forms of rock give teenagers something to believe in that they get no place else.
The human element of making music is what's most important. Singing into a microphone and learning to play an instrument, that's the most important thing.
I am on nobody's side because nobody is on my side.